Okay, so he's back again. 6 months ago, I made an update on a video I made 2 years ago talking about a TikTok star by the name of Nick, who was making thousands of dollars on Patreon promoting his game. Greed of Man was an open world MMORPG being made by a single developer who, I mean, I'll be honest with you, he hasn't really done fuck all with the game. It's still in early access. It's sitting at very negative reviews. But apparently in the last 6 months, he's also made a set of cosmetics that you can purchase as additional DLC in a game that is still in early access. Now, in the past, that's been a pretty big no-no, but apparently we're even letting that slide in today's day and age. Now, when we proved that everything that he was saying about the game was essentially a lie, he put the game out into early access and it was a big piece of shit and nothing like he was saying, it's gonna be the biggest game ever, it's gonna be better than GTA, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that, and it was a load of shit. 6 months ago, he made a reel saying this.
About 2 years ago, I promised you all an RP game where the entire city was built and ran by players. Now, of course, you know how the story goes. I released it unfinished, and with my inexperience, charged way too much for it, and that caught a lot of flack from the YouTube community. Since then, I've graduated high school, worked on a couple other projects, and after the successful relaunch of World of Fate, I'm here to ask you a question. Would you give me a second shot to make the version of Greed of Man that I promised you?
And then subsequently went on to make other games, and he's essentially just farming for clicks on TikTok. But back in the day when he was making Greed of Man, he actually had a Patreon where he was telling these people things that he was making that weren't actually in the game, or he was exaggerating absolutely everything about the game, and he was making thousands of dollars on Patreon. And after I made my first video, it got picked up by larger YouTubers like Moist Critical. His Patreon essentially collapsed. He lost a shit ton of followers and it kind of left him with nothing. 6 months ago, he asks for a second chance while also promoting multiple other games.
So I'm making a game where all the players start together in the wilderness. It is then up to the players to rebuild society. They first all begin by chopping down trees and then using those trees to build huts. They can then upgrade those huts later on into houses.
Okay, so it's a pretty standard survival experience. Great.
You can spend your time in the game building your own bar where you sell drinks to everyone that plays. Or you could become a landlord, rent out apartments to other players that are new. This player-ran-in society is going to have an economy ran by the players, because the only resources in the game are actually gathered by other players.
Okay, that seems pretty ambitious, but all right.
And each server is its own city. So let's say there's a server where there's a ton of forest and you just harvest a ton of trees. You could then take those trees, put them on the back of your truck and drive to another server that has a ton of desert. They don't have much trees. They're going to be in high demand of those trees, so you're going to be able to sell for a huge profit. And then you can take that money and go to another server and build your own apartment complex, where you then rent out rooms to other players that are new that don't have their own place to live.
What? And I got a message in my Discord last night saying this. Nick is back scamming a new game under a new alias. He put on a voice changer and is deleting comments to hide his identity. And this Discord user links to a TikTok called NGS Game Studio. Now, this profile on TikTok has existed since 2022. It's definitely an alt account of Nick, because when you watch the TikToks, I mean, it's clearly just him with a voice changer.
In a game where the entire society is built and ran by players. The whole idea is that all the players start from like the Stone Age, where they're just chopping down trees, building simple shelters, and hunting for food. But then eventually, while they get smarter and design more complex items, they could eventually create things like guns, or cars, or spaceships. It's gonna be cool to watch the player base kind of grow and evolve and create new items for the game. Like, for example, me as the developer, I don't create axes. You guys just take sticks, connect them to stone, and create axes yourself. This means that everything in the game is literally created by players.
Man, if there's one thing I love, it's games where players have to build everything for you. Now, what's crazy is on its own, that game already sounds so fucking ambitious. Way over ambitious for like a veteran solo developer to do, let alone somebody who's still very new to the game. His other account where he was promoting Greed of Man in his other game, apparently he made a pissing game or whatever. This is still active, and this is the game that he's working on right now.
In my game, every item is made by players, which includes even the most basic items like tables. But there was a problem. I wanted a way to copy and paste these blueprints from one person to another. So what I...
Well, now wait a minute. That sounds identical to this other game, but it's in a different engine. He's making the other game in Godot, and I think this one is being made in Unreal, but it's the same fucking game How are you making two massive games like this on two different engines while also making multiple side projects, editing, handling TikTok, going to college? This kid's got to be like a fucking Machamp with like 6 arms just coding on multiple PCs. It's impossible. And he knows it.
In my game where everything is built and ran by players, the terrain is massive and detailed. But one thing it was missing was some foliage. Now, I've made a tree system in the past, but it wasn't very optimized. The main reason for this is that it was updating all the trees all the time. So now I've developed a system where it only updates 2 trees at a time. This reduces the load on the server and gets us much better frames. Obviously,
so you guys are seeing the similarities between the two projects. It's 2 different accounts promoting 2 different games, but they have identical feature sets with 2 different graphic styles on 2 different engines by one guy. This guy's a goddamn prodigy. I don't know what else to say. Now, normally this wouldn't be a problem if you're just sharing, you know, some hobby stuff that you're working on, whatever. The problem is we've already seen him create a Patreon and scam people out of thousands of dollars before. And now we have this. This is in his day 2 video, keeping people up to date with it. And keep in mind, this was just posted 2 days ago. Let's watch.
I also kind of mess with the art style a little bit. I really am liking this low poly, like cartoony kind of look. And at the rate I'm going, I'm probably going to get some beta testing available sometime at the end of the week. I'm thinking of doing a Patreon so you guys can subscribe to play the game. That way I can pay for servers, and every time a new person joins, I can just expand the server capacity. Let me know.
It's the same fucking scam he was running with Greed of Man under a different account. And the thing is everybody is calling him out for it in the comments, but he's deleting and blocking you if you post anything about it. Keep in mind, a game that is currently in early access that has a storefront selling a plunger cosmetic for $6.79 Canadian, or a kitty cat ear set for a game that is still in early access and will most likely never be completed. And if he does manage to pull it to a 1.0, it's gonna be fucking trash. There's so many actual game devs out there on social media that are sharing their games, they're talking about their work in progress stuff, and it would be a different story if Nick was just like, hey, this is what I'm working on. Do you guys like the idea? What should I do? Blah, 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 blah. But when you start to tie a Patreon to a project that is so ambitious that you will never be able to deliver on it, that's when I have a problem. What's crazy to me is you can make a shit ton of money doing this kind of stuff on TikTok by just making content. But it's not enough for him to make ad revenue off of the content that he makes. I mean, one of the videos has over 300,000 views. He clearly knows what he's doing, right? When it comes to TikTok views and shit, he knows how to get out there. But that's not enough. I'm gonna open a Patreon. I'm gonna promise you the world. I'm gonna make all these games that sound so fucking good, but then they're always just really, really bad. There are viable projects out there. A game called Status and Tropos that is constantly doing work in progress updates. They're showing you that they actually have the skills to do it right. I have no problem with Patreon. What I have a problem with is when you have people that come into the space promising the world, knowing they can't deliver on it. And they know deep down inside that what they're claiming and what they're wanting to do is an impossible feat. To me, that is why this shit is a scam. Now, I'm not gonna high horse it. If you wanna back this Patreon when it inevitably opens up again, go right ahead. I don't care. All I'm doing is simply chronologically organizing the story, okay? 3 years ago, he opens a Patreon, releases a shitty game, everybody's mad. 6 months ago, he comes back and he says, hey, I want a second chance to make this game the best fucking game ever. Just give me a second chance. Oh, also, by the way, I'm making this other game that's also super fucking ambitious that I'm never ever gonna finish. Now, we're making 2 different games. Like, give me a fucking break.
Day 4 of making a game where the entire society is built and ran by players.
Day 4 of making a game where the society is entirely run by players. Fuck off, man.